In order to evaluate the labor supply effect of the temporary wage increase, we randomly assigned those valuable messengers who were willing to participate in the experiment to a treatment and a control group, and were implemented a fully anticipated temporary increase in the commission rate by roughly 25% for the treatment group. The commission rate for men in the treatment group was temporarily increased from W equal 0.39 to W equal 0.49, and the rate for women was temporarily increased from W equal 0.44 to W equal 0.54. The additional earnings for the messengers were financed by the Swiss National Science Foundation. In order to participate in the experiment, all messengers had to complete a questionnaire at the beginning and the end of the experimental period. The messenger were informed that a failure to complete all questionnaires meant they would not receive an additional earnings from the experiment. All messengers who finished the first questionnaire also filled in the remaining questionnaires. Thus, the group of the messengers who participated in the experiment who was constant during the entire experiment. There was no attrition. Randomization into treatment and control group was achieved by randomly allocating the participating messenger into Group A and the Group B. The randomization was based on the administrative codes that the messenger services using to identify a messenger in its accounting system. All messenger availabilities were assigned to a number depending on the date when they started working for the company. The first messenger who worked at availabilities was assigned the number 1, and the second number 2, and so forth. The participating messengers with odd members were assigned to Group A, and participating messengers with even numbers to Group B. The messengers did not know that the purpose of the experiment was the study of labor supply behavior, nor did they realize that we received the full anonymous records of each messenger containing the number of shifts and the number of deliveries completed. If pressed, we told the participants that we wanted to study relation between wages and job satisfaction. The purpose of our study was credible because the questionnaires contained several questions related to job satisfaction. For Group A, we implemented a 25% increase in the commission rate during the 4 weeks in September 2000. The messenger in Group B were paid their normal commission rate during this time period, so they could be used a control group. In contrast, only the individuals in Group B received a 25% increase in the commission rate during the 4 weeks in November 2000, while the members of Group A received their normal commission rate and therefore served as a control group. Thus, a key feature of the experiment is that there were 2 experimental periods that lasted for 4 weeks, and both Group A and Group B served as a treatment and a control group in one of the 2 experimental periods. This feature, in combination with our participation rule, implies that our design is perfectly balanced during the 2 treatment periods. Therefore, the point estimate of the treatment effect is completely independent of individual heterogeneity between our subject. We'll include messenger fixed effects in most of the analysis, however, to reduce the estimated standard errors. These features of the experiment ensure that our results cannot be affected by the Hawthorne effect. The Hawthorne effect means that subjects behave differently just because they know that the experiments observe their behavior. Yet our subject did not know that we could observe their behavior during the wage increase. Moreover, since both the treatment group and the control group are part of the overall experiment, and since our key results rely on the comparison between these groups, were controlled for a potential Hawthorne effect. Okay. Our experiment thus enables us to provide a very clean isolation of the impacts of the temporary wage increase. If, for example, the implemented wage changes change increases labor supply, we should observe these increase both in the first and the second experimental period. In the first experimental period, the members of Group A who received the higher wage in this period should exhibit a larger labor supply than the members of Group B, while the reverse should be true in the second experimental period. Members of Group B who received the higher wage in this period should supply more labor.